power in their fast-changing pecking order. Congressman James Clyburn of South Carolina is currently the majority whip. He's in line to become the number 3 ranking Democrat, assuming a newly created position of assistant leader. Congressman Clyburn joins us live from Capitol Hill. Congressman, great to see you this morning. Thanks for being with us.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Wanted to talk about what the next 2 years are going to look like, just sort of in the broad brush, by looking at a CNN Opinion Research Corporation poll that we did just over the last couple of days. People were asked about the Republican victories, what they were a result of. 70% said they were a rejection of Democratic policies. So I'm wondering, what will the Democratic Party in Congress do differently over the next couple of years?
Well, I think that we will get people do a better job of getting people to understand exactly what it is that we're trying to get done. I believe that everybody knows that this economy 2 years ago was on the brink of a real disaster. I think the policies that President Obama put in place stabilized this economy, brought us back from the brink, and I think we did a good job of getting people to understand that that was necessary before you could start to grow the economy. People wanted to see an immediate turnaround, which we did not get, and it's impossible. And so I am very pleased with what we did. I'm not pleased with our ability to explain to American people exactly what we did and why.
Is it all about communication, or is it more about the policy?
Well, I don't know that you would say our policy is bad when you stop hemorrhaging 800,000 jobs a month, and that's what we did. That's got to be a good thing. I think that the problem was that when you turn this around and you start trying to grow, when people would like to see us growing 100,000 jobs a month, and you're only growing 15 to 20,000 jobs a month, then the expectations were greater than that which we were able to deliver. And I really believe if we had explained to people a little better that that would be the process by which we were going through, we would have done better at the polls. The expectations got far greater than any possibility of us fulfilling them.
Congressman, let's talk about the leadership and the expectations for that. Of course, a big vote going to take place tomorrow, unless these folks in your party who are pushing for a delay win the day. It would most likely see Nancy Pelosi as the minority leader, Steny Hoyer as the whip, and you as in the number 3 position in this newly created position of assistant leader. You were the majority whip. I know you wanted the whip position. Are you happy with this number 3 spot?
Well, I was number 3 for the last 4 years. In the majority, the whip is number 3. In the minority, the whip becomes number 2. And so what we were doing is saying that everybody will maintain their relative position in the 112th. And so being number 3 allows that to happen. So there is nothing unusual about this. And I was very pleased with the resolution that Speaker Pelosi came up with, and I accepted it. Now, there is some reticence on the part of a lot of people as to exactly what does this mean. It means that we will be moving forward, keeping at the table the kinds of experiences that I bring to the table, and hopefully as we develop policy, those experiences will be honored, and we will have the kind of input that's necessary to have good, solid policy development.
And what about with Speaker Pelosi continuing on as the minority leader? There are a number of Democrats, a couple of dozen of them, in fact, including a lot of blue dogs, who say it's unacceptable for her to continue on as leader. The Congressional Black Caucus has thrown its support behind you, but as a body, they haven't thrown their support behind her. Are you happy with her as the leader?
Yes, I am. The fact of the matter is 4 years ago, when we were out there in the wilderness where we had been for 12 years, she was at the helm and brought us through 2 consecutive victories and gave us the majority in the House. Now, we've run it through a bad patch. I don't think that disqualifies her as leader. So she has done a good job. She will do a good job, and I support her leadership bid.
So with that in mind, would you encourage your colleagues in the Congressional Black Caucus to throw their full support behind her?
I've already done that. I think you may have seen the letter I sent out last week saying that I was supporting her position, her thrust to be our leader, and I asked the members of the caucus to do that as well. Last night, I asked them to do that. They says that we may do that, but first we got to see exactly what their portfolio is for this number 3 position that you have accepted. And so that's there, and I think we'll get there in due course.
Congressman Jim Clyburn, it's always a pleasure. Thanks for spending time with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Kira?
John, thanks. Well,